What is up, my good people? And I have some bullish news. It may at first not look like it's bullish, but let me explain. So, before we get into that, let's look at where Bitcoin is. You see some nice green candles coming up on the daily chart. We see Bitcoin is around 44,000, and we'll see. Hey, if this if we end up doing the correction like I was talking about in ABC, we could be looking towards, sometime this spring. And but if not, it might go further into the year. I don't know. We'll see what Bitcoin decides to do. Right now, we still haven't really seen. So we've seen a lot of altcoins take off, right? But then they had that pullback. So right now, it seems like Bitcoin is trying to decide what direction it's going to go. And if we start seeing these altcoins take off here soon, towards the end of February, then we'll have our answer. But if we start seeing a slow grind, I mean, we could see this go further into the year, like I was saying. So we'll wait to see how that pans out. Here, let's go into the news I want to show you. Because here, Ukraine reports cyber attack on defense ministry, website, and banks. I've talked about some power outages and what that would do. These cyber attacks. And, if you hold your money in the bank, you won't be able to access it. It'll be taken away from you and you'll be left without a penny. And whoever ends up taking information or money from these banks, well, what are you going to do? Right? And this is something that we have to keep the look on because the cyber pandemic narrative is getting stronger. And in the cyber pandemic, everything gets shut down. And that will be exponentially worse than what the whole world is going through. So all eyes on Ukraine and Russia, because that seems to be spearheading the narrative for cyber attacks. And I've noticed it a lot more. Check this out. So you see, I looked up cyber attacks, right? And you see all these news articles that have to do with it. So another thing is what's happening in Canada. We see what was announced by the Deputy Prime Minister. And we see Brian Armstrong going ahead and chiming in. And he said, concerning to see stuff like this happening in any country, especially such as an economic free place like Canada. Then he says self-custodial wallets are important. So you see here that this whole cryptocurrency space is now getting more attention. Why depend on the banks, right? When you can depend on crypto, where you're the sole owner and in control of your money. And especially if you have a cold wallet, right? So this narrative is getting stronger for people to dive into cryptocurrency. And I think that as this goes on forward, we're going to see a lot of people start chiming in about this and joining. The masses are going to start getting into that cryptocurrency space. We see David Schwartz tuning in as well. He vows to freeze anti-mandate protesters' bank accounts. And so you're starting to see a lot of talking heads pointing to this issue. And then here is this gentleman here pointing out the World Economic Forum's agenda. Welcome to 2030. I own nothing. I have no privacy, and life has never been better when you don't have access to any of your accounts. So, looking at this and looking at the charts, right? If we have a scenario where the situation in Ukraine and Russia worsens, situation in Canada worsens, you might see this actually drag out. And as we head into the summer and people, I'm rest assured, I think there's going to be protests. If this drags out, you're going to see a lot more people jumping into Bitcoin. And if this drags out into, towards the end of the year, it's a slow grind up, you'll see that altcoins slowly grind up as well. And so people will have an opportunity to get into this Bitcoin train. So we'll see. It'd be nice, of course, for it to happen sooner rather than later. But at the same time, if it's about bringing in the masses and ushering in this new time period of financial independence, however long that lasts, then yeah, maybe you'll see Bitcoin grind it out slowly until it gets to this range around here between the 0.618 and 0.702. And we'll monitor it as it keeps going. One thing I'm keeping an eye on is Terra Luna. Now, why would I keep an eye on Terra Luna? Because it's already gone up way too much. It's because I find this chart very interesting. Now, I'm going to point out that the circulating supply is a lot different because I'm going to compare it to XRP. Yes, circulating supply is hugely different, vastly different. XRP has about almost 50 billion in circulating supply around there. It's around the 40s. But I'm looking at this chart and it intrigues me a lot because XRP was stuck around this 18, 19, 20 cent region. So was Terra Luna. This was in 2020. Then Terra Luna was stuck around this 60, 70, 80 cent range. XRP's been stuck in that as well. They differ slightly, but I'm looking at the macro view. Then it went from that range all the way up to around $5, $6, $7, and it ranged there for about a month or so. And after that, it ran up and it hovered around this. It went all the way up to around $21, and then it hovered around that 14 to 20 range right there. Then it dipped down to $5. And then it went on a massive run all the way up to $98. And some exchanges it went up to like 100 and so. So this intrigues me because I'm curious to see, where XRP goes. Obviously, when you talk about bringing in trillions and trillions of dollars into this space, yeah, I definitely see XRP eventually going up to these prices, but the market cap would have to have enough money in order to bring each token to this price. But eventually, this will be a good chart to look at for XRP's price action, and I'm extremely bullish on that. When we look at the rest of these coins, we see that they're in the green, right? There's a lot of green today in the market, and we'll see. I think the next couple of weeks will determine whether this is going to be a bull run happening in the next month or so, or if it's going to, just play out and grind its way out, and maybe we see something towards the end of the year. So stay tuned, stay vigilant, and I think the Bitcoin narrative and the crypto narrative is going to get stronger and stronger because people are seeing that they can't trust centralized finance, so they'll look for something decentralized. They'll go towards the blockchain. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Mega Bull Experience, and I'll see you in the next one.